Hello and welcome. It's only fitting that the blue ribboned class of sidecar racing in the UK comes here to the home of the British Formula One Grand Prix. We're here at Silverstone on the full 3.7 mile Grand Prix circuit for round 7 of the Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar Championship. The whole atmosphere here, the ambience, the facilities are just on a grand scale. The previous round, round 6, took place at another of the UK's favourite circuits, Donington Park. It was good to be back at Donington, and whilst part of the infield resembled a quarry, there was absolutely nothing wrong with the tarmac, and the sidecars took to the track on the first race in really close formation. Good too to have two World Championship contenders running at the front in the shape of Tim Reeves and Birchall, and from very early on we had Greg Lambert with a damaged wheel arch, so lots of contact on the first lap. Away at the front though, these two quickly stretch the lead. Lots of activity on the pit wall as the pit crews watched on, and the first major retirement, John Clark from Ulster out with a retirement just on the very tight Goddard's Bend. But Birchall's were giving nothing away to Reevesy, and they pushed really hard, running wide, letting Reeves back through, but they were already running into tyre problems, as indeed did Scott Lorry. A championship contender coming here, Scott Lorry's hopes quickly evaporating because Tim Reeves already heading for a massive total. The tyre problems suffered by the Birchalls dropped them back into the clutches of Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence on the number 49 outfit, who made a bid for the inside at the Melbourne Loop, made it stick. The Birchalls by then already in serious trouble. At the flag, Reeves romped home, but a run to the finish, and it was a photo finish for second place, with Roger Lovelock narrowly getting the verdict. Race 1 then to Reeves and Clues. Race 2 in glorious sunshine, and again a full grid, everyone safely away. Ian Guy having a very sluggish start just ahead of the safety car, but the rest of them made no mistake at all. Reeves and Birchalls and Lovelock and Lawrence, and then Peach and Richardson, but it was neck and neck. Birchalls this time put a wonderful block pass going into the foggy S's on Tim Reeves. They wanted to make sure that this time, if there were going to be tyre problems, they were far enough ahead. Scott Lorry was making hay through the field, passing Ben Holland as quickly as he could. Meanwhile, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence found their way onto the grass. Another place gain then for Scott Lorry. He was locked in a real tussle, making his way up. But Ben Bygrave and Callum Lawson, they got the rear end really loose, and Scott Lorry got a bird's eye view. The youngsters into the gravel, but they managed to recover and rejoin the fray, albeit further down the field. Ben Holland and Lee Watson also let the back end go. The tyres were really giving problems here at Donington Park in the closing stages. No such troubles this time though for Ben and Tom Birchall. They took the win, making it honours even from Tim Reeves. Third place went to Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson. A great fourth for Scott Lorry, and the battle for fifth, well, all hell broke loose. Again, John Clark shoved out of the running. Ben Bygrave and Craig Chaplow made it through the chaos to claim their places in the points. A win then for the Birchalls. The overall standings, Reeves and Clues on 350, a massive lead from Lorry. Birchall, Lovelock and Lawrence still there. Peach and Richardson. Phil Bell was one of those victims at the last bend, but he's still there on 148. Seventh place then for Ben Bygrave and Callum Lawson. Chaplow and Pat Farrance moving up the order on 78. And the rest of them, as you can see, still there. A good ride by Gary Smith. He's getting better. Number 14 on the Yamaha. Bottom of the pile, the Sloanes, well, their Honda is still in the workshop. This is the penultimate round, and yes, I agree. It looks as though Tim Reeves is romping away with the championship. But there is a chance here for people to play catch-up. Silverstone, 3.7 miles, it's wide open. It'll take an awful lot of learning. Let's jump on board and see if we can find our way round. Off the line then, away we go. Up the start, finish straight. The first right-hander taken in fourth gear. Copse, round Copse we go. Then away down the very slight hill, up the gearbox to fifth. And there's a bit of a wiggle here. That's appropriate because it's called Maggots. Maggots, a right, left, third gear, holding third through here into Beckett's. round and then out of the right-hander and away on a very fast straight towards Stowe. This is 4th gear, 5th gear. Away we go, 6th gear. And then very, very hard on that brake pedal. Top gear, you can hear the revs peaking out. This is almost a hairpin. Back 3 into 3rd gear round here at Stowe. Round we go. Bearing slightly left. 4th gear again. Back to 3rd. Into 2nd for the quick left of Vale. Then right. Holding 3rd. Holding 3rd round club. Outside the grandstands looking in. The people there will be packed on race day. 4th gear. 5th gear. Up towards Abbey. Back 1 to 4th. Hard on the brake. Throw the back end round. Hook it round. Short shift into 5th gear. 5th gear coming into the complex area now. Now down 4th, 3rd, 2nd gear round Village. Very tight here. Holding 2nd. Left again into the arena area. 3rd, 4th, 5th, just touching top at this point. And now back under the bridge, and then we've got a left-hander ahead of us. We'll go down 3 gears for Brooklands. Here we go. The sign there on the right-hand side of the track telling them it's sharp. It is 3rd gear. Round they go, well and truly in the arena. Luffield holding 3rd, hooking 4th, driving. All the people in the grandstands watching them as they come onto the start-finish straight round this long woodcut, never-ending bend. It's 3.666 miles recurring, and it seems like it. I've been saying all season that the F1 Sidecar paddock is one big family with the amount of camaraderie that exists. Gary Horspool has been plagued with problems. Almost to be crowned champion Tim Reeves has been helping him all weekend in the most amazing way. Gary Horspool, I spoke to you at Cadwell, I spoke to you at Donington. You were having electronic misfire problems. You thought you'd cured it. You haven't cured it, and yet the frustration goes on.
There's very much frustration. Yeah, come to Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, British Superbikes, just want to go and ride a bike, but it's just not happening at the moment.
You literally have tried everything. You can't find it. It still misfires, and yet we've got a great story because you've eliminated the engine from that problem. How did that come about?
Well, me and Tim are running the Hondas. Tim a lot more successful than we are at the moment, and he qualified quickest yesterday, and then his own time last night he took his engine out of his bike to try my engine in, just to make sure it worked on his electrical system, which it did. So we're back to looking at my electrical system now. So at the end of the day, he took 2 or 3 hours out of his own night just to mess about with engines for me, really. So
Tim Reeves, former world champion, leading this British Championship by a country mile. I mean, I don't know of any other sport where somebody leading the championship would rip his bike apart and use it as a test bed for somebody else's engine.
Well, you've got to at least, you know, Gary's no different to me, is he? We're all here spending our own money to try and do something we love doing, and if you can help out, you've got to, haven't you? You know, we had to eliminate something, and the only way we could do it was to bolt his engine to my bike, and it proved that his engine is not at fault. You know, there's an issue with his wiring somewhere, and we just, hopefully they can dig in and try and find it, but it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You know, there's probably 200 different wires on this bike, and one of them has got a break in it, and you're just trying to find it. It's like, yeah, trying to find a hair in the middle of a flipping cornfield, you know. We just need to try and get him out on track. It's not, you know, he's put a lot of time and effort into beer like everyone has, and if I can help out, I will.
Well, it's a brilliant PR story, but you did it with the real intention of helping him, and that is a great thing you've done. Yeah,
it has nothing to do with PR, does it? I don't want no credit for it. Gary helped me, I'm sure, and it's just like, that's the camaraderie in this Sidecar paddock. Everyone helps each other out, and if we can, you know, we need as many bikes on the grid as we can. It's not good for the sport to have 1 or 2 missing, so you know, we'll all muck in and do what we can to get the grid as full as we can. So hopefully we'll find it and get Gary out on his bike.
Well, that's brilliant, Tim. Fantastic gesture. So now, Gary, you know that it's not the engine. So are you going to get out on track? Are you still working on it?
I don't think I'll get out today because I've qualifying's in less than an hour now, and I need to qualify to be in the race later on today. But the big issue is we go to Ireland on Thursday. So if we find a problem here, it'd be brilliant because it means I'll be catching the boat. But if I don't find a problem here, I can't see a lot of point going all the way to Ireland to carry on doing the same sort of aggro as I've got now.
Hope you do it, mate.
Nice one, thank you very much.
I'm not exaggerating when I say some of these Sidecar guys are still finding their way round this huge circuit. That means that a good position on the grid is going to be even more vital. Now they're going to have to throw caution to the wind to go for it, because it's time for qualifying. Such is the packed agenda on a three-day British Superbike weekend that track time was very, very precious for the Sidecars, and I have to say limited. With just one qualifying session, there was an awful lot to sort out. Tyre choice, there is a choice of compound with the tyres. A lot of the riders still finding their way around, so an awful lot came in to pit lane in the early stages. The speed trap over the start-finish line registered something approaching 150 miles an hour, and these guys were the quickest, 150.5 over the speed trap. But obviously it wasn't all about outright speed. Gary Smith and Justin Sharp were mid-order with their speed. They were quicker than Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence, but the Green Meanie was due to find itself way up the pecking order in the final analysis, which underlines that smooth is good round here. Tim Reeves and Greg Clues took pole position, 2 seconds clear from Ben Holland and Lee Watson. Ben Bygrave and Callum looked on. Scott Laurie and James Neve, 3 times they cut the chicane. The race director disqualified them. Ben Holland, Lee Watson, Grand Prix circuit at Silverstone. No better place than to get on the front row, eh?
Yeah, we've got to be happy with that, haven't we? Yes, we've been looking forward to this meeting all year long, and to stick up the front row with Tim, so we're over the moon with that.
Fantastic. Lee, a lot of passengers out there are complaining that this is tough. Are you finding it hard?
Yeah, it's definitely hard work. At the first couple of laps, trying to get your timing right, it was tough, but it was worth it when we came in. When we crossed the line and Ben turned around to me, I didn't have a clue where we were. I thought we'd done all right because we were passing a few people, but he turned around and said that we were second. Oh, brilliant! That's a great result.
Tim Reeves, Greg Clues. The sun shining, Silverstone, a fantastic circuit and a brilliant display, pole position again, Tim.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. This track is absolutely awesome. It's good to be back here with BSB again and be in front of a crowd for a change. It's nice, and the track is absolutely mint. It's so wide and fast and flowing, and the smoother you go, the quicker you can get your times down. It's when you're enjoying it, you can do fast times, can't you? I'm really enjoying riding my bike, and it's real good.
Greg, we talk about this as being the home of Formula One Grand Prix, and it really is a fantastic circuit.
Yeah, it's unbelievable track. All the right and left, every time is fast. You need to concentrate 100% every time. It's a beautiful track here.
Tim, I guess it would be nice to go away from here knowing that when we go to Ireland for the last round, the championship is in your pocket and you can relax there.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it, if we could tie up this weekend? I've not really worked it out yet, but I think if we have a win and in the first race, I think we only need a few points in the second one, that'll do. So fingers crossed the old girl keeps going and we can bring it home.
Well, this is how they line up, but it will be without Gary Horspool because he has not reconciled his electrical problems. Look at that, front row for Ben Holland. And Watson, Lovelock and Lawrence are right there. James and Wynne, they desperately need some good results. Andy Peach, Gary Smith and Justin Sharp, terrific for them, the number 14 crew. They are getting better and better. Good to see Mark Edwards and Shelley Smithies on row 6 alongside Steve Kershaw and Rob Wilson. Brilliant qualifying for them. Former world champion Steve Abbott's son Liam made it onto row 7. Well, qualifying was full of surprises, not least of all Scott Laura's disqualification for shortcutting at the chicane on more than one occasion. He's gone away now to make a protest, so we'll have to see where that leaves him. But at the moment, he's right on the back of the grid. With a bit of luck, they'll serve me some lunch in here in a minute. But for now, we're going to take a short break. After the break, race 1. Welcome to the grid for race 1. Scott Laura's protest was unsuccessful, so his second place championship in jeopardy. He starts right at the back of the grid. I'm on row 3, Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson right here. A terrific performance from Gary Smith and Justin Sharp. They're on the 3rd row. Their best ever ride by far this season, so expecting big things from them. Barry James and James Wynne right here on the Santander Salt. We're on row 2, again ever present. Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence, number 49. Have to move a little bit that side. There you go, an outfit right behind you, so be careful. Terrific from Ben Holland and Lee Watson. second place, and they're on the front row, but by a massive 2-second margin. Tim Reeves, Greg Clews, the championship is in their grasp. Go for it, Tim. Terrific then. Race 1 on the line here, 9 laps. It's going to be a long, long way around this big circuit. Let's go racing. I've omitted to say that Ben and Tom Birchall are away on World Championship duty this weekend. They are wrapping up their second place in the World Championship, which should, you would think, wouldn't you, leave it wide open for Tim Reeves and Greg Clews. 2 seconds a lap quicker they were in qualifying, but I do think there are going to be some young guns there giving them some stick. Clusy with his hand in the air, obviously a problem off the line. I don't know what happened there. It must have spun off the line. I was puzzled. Because it's almost as though Tim Reeves was giving everyone an opportunity. More hands up. I don't know what that's all about. Gary Smith and Justin Sharp, they've got a mechanical problem just away as they get away on the first lap, but into the lead go Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence. Right behind them it looked like Ben Bygrave. I'll get a better look as they come round. Yep, Gary Smith, Justin Sharp on the number 14 out of the running. Oh, it's Ben Holland, Lee Watson. Ben Holland, Lee Watson from the front row alongside Roger Lovelock and into the lead. Going with them, Barry James and James Wynn. Lovelock, though, holding them off. Pushing. I've no idea what happened to Tim Reeves. A really, really sluggish start. We're on board with Scott Lorry and James Neves siding through. He's got to nip and tuck. Look how he's weaving. No wonder Greg Clews put his hand in the air. He might be thinking, I'm going to have a Scotsman in my backside in a minute, but Scott Lorry is away. Roger Lovelock with Rick Lawrence's leathers flapping. Nothing wrong with them. He just doesn't like them tight. He prefers them baggy. Well, there you can see a sidecar wheel arch being removed. In the pit lane, Andy Peach, the floor pan, I think, problem there. Something rubbing on the floor. I don't know if they're going to be allowed to start. Oh no, that's Barry James, upside down again. James Wynn, how many times have we seen the Santander Salt outfit upside down? The driver, of course, stuck in it. They can't get out easily. Driver, rider, call him what you like, but he certainly drives it. He's also a motorcycle rider. Roger Lovelock, the rider there, is a retained fireman. There's a little bit of trivia for you, but they're certainly going well in this one. The flag indicated that the safety car is imminent, so this is going to bunch everybody up. Roger Lovelock's lead is going to evaporate. Ben Holland and Lee Watson right behind him. And Barry James stretched out there on the tarmac, not moving at all. Winnie, James Wynn, walking away with his hands in the air. Basically, the body language said, I don't know what happened there. Meanwhile, the front of the race then, with Roger Lovelock with that huge lead early on. Tim Reeves, I'm perplexed as to why Tim Reeves bogged down. He's certainly got another one of his very, very slow starts. He might be playing around with his engine and putting in Gary Horsepoles overnight, but nonetheless he's in the running. He's in 4th place at the moment. The number 91 there of Liam Abbott mid-pack, so the youngster being blooded, if you like, for the first time in Eastern Airways F1 competition. Justin Sharp running back to Gary Smith's outfit. And Gary saying, come on, get on. What are you doing on the pit wall? We can get back in the race. If they'll be allowed to rejoin, this will be a good tactical move. With the pace car out. They'll have to form line astern, though. On lap 3 of 9. Everyone bunching up, and this is going to do wonders for Scott Lorry's fight through from the back of the grid. Bygrave and Lawson there in 4th. John Clark and Stuart Graham, number 90, in 3rd place. A terrific weekend for them so far. I know it's early days, but the guys from Banbridge, County Down, getting stronger and stronger as the season goes. And the guys in the yellow and black outfit, the number 60 outfit, Ben Holland and Lee Watson, one of our young pretender crews, if you like. They've threatened to come good, and they're certainly delivering the goods here. Tim Reeves in 5th place, holding back a bit. He's going to get a run. Right behind him, we can see Scott Lorry. So there's that huge gap. Look back to Reeves. There's Scott Lorry. Then it's Phil Bell and Phil Hides. Then it's young Steve Kershaw and Rob Wilson on the number 29 blue outfit. So all of the guys who ran well in qualifying are nicely placed to let fly, if you like, when the car comes in. Liam Abbott still behind the safety car, everyone closing up. Scott Lorry in 6th from the back of the grid, so he's done a good job. This will also conserve fuel and tyres, so I expect it to be a ding-dong once the lights go out, and they have gone out on the safety car. It will be coming in the next time, and then racing resumed. We've got a green flag situation. The race is back on. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence were unable to gap anybody. They held back a bit from the car, trying to anticipate the run as they come onto the straight. Lee Watson then tucking down in, keeping his head down. John Clark, Stuart Graham in 3rd. Race leader Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence. Where's Tim Reeves? Right behind Ben Bygrave and Callum Lawson. So the two similarly coloured outfits as they come into shot will be side by side. Scott Lorry cutting them through the middle like a knife through butter. An amazing overtaking, or should I say undertaking move from Scott Lorry. We're on board with him now. Let's have a look underneath John Clark. Then Tim Reeves and Ben Bygrave, they've been separated. John Clark then has now fallen under Scott Lorry's hammer. Up to 4th goes Scott Lorry. 2nd in the championship when he came here. Disqualified in qualifying. Started from the back of the grid. He is on what you might think mission impossible, but one thing is, he's on a mission. Now though, the sharper you get to the pointy end, the faster you get to the front, the speed differential decreases. So he's going to have to ride harder and harder and harder. Relatively easy passing the slow guys, not going to be so easy getting in touch for the top 3. But having said that, I've seen a big mistake from Ben Holland. Through into 2nd place goes Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. The sidecar wheel just pawing the air, but they're now in the runner-up spot. The championship looking ever closer for Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. Meanwhile, on a very fast outfit, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence, they certainly have got the legs down the straight. Holland and Watson in 3rd. Still, Scott Lorry then relegated to 4th. So Ben Holland fighting back. He's not prepared to lie down and be trampled on. He wants a podium place. Scott Lorry and James Neave, though, right in his wheel tracks. You're looking at the battle for 3rd. There's your race leader. 2nd place Reeves. 3rd Ben Holland. 4th Scott Lorry, James Neave. 5th Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson. Then I think the John Clark Stuart Graham outfit are running very much in contention. Reeves and Clues, down goes the right arm of Greg Clues, making himself as small and as aerodynamically smooth as possible, but they're not closing. They are not closing. The gap's something like 2 seconds at the moment. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence on their way, maybe, to a first win here in the 2011 Eastern Airways British Sidecar Championship. Liam Abbott, Chris Judge out of the running, the number 91 outfit, so their debut meeting at Silverstone, not overshadowed by any means. The first 4 then, but the battle for the lead now shaping up. Tim Reeves going to have to use, he said he enjoys riding this circuit. He said it's fast, it's flowing. When I'm riding my bike and having fun, it's lovely. Well, he's going to have to ride his bike and have a bit more fun if he's going to muscle past Roger Lovelock, because this pairing, not the oldest combined pairing in the paddock, but getting pretty close to it, vastly experienced and a very quick motorcycle indeed, just as quick as the Paget's Honda of the number 77 Tim Reeves. Oh, Reeves sliding in through the back end in, could be an indication of tyres, it could be, because the tyre degradation here on this very fast 3.7 mile Silverstone circuit has been considerable. Up to 3rd again, Scott Lorry and James Neave. Now down in 4th place as Tim Reeves takes a look at the front, the pointy end of the race. What was it he said? A win in the first race and then a few points in the second. I think that's all I need. Well, He's on his way now to 20 points in the position he's sitting in currently. Second place, 20 points, 25 for the win, 16 for third. Throwing it in though, the chair went light there. The passenger's dilemma here is staying neutral. Do I stay too far left? Do I stay too far right? Do I compromise? Because some of the changes of direction come up so quickly, it's physically impossible for a passenger to get from right to left all the time. So they have to compromise a little bit. Clues is doing a good job, as indeed is Rick Lawrence. And they're not closing on the race leaders at all. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence are out there in the #1 spot, knowing that they have a former world champion behind them, the series leader behind them. The Birchall's not here to play, otherwise it might have been a different story, maybe not. Let's give credit to Roger Lovelock because he's winning this race in style. Fourth place, Ben Holland, Lee Watson, and closing on them still, Ben Bygrave and Callum Lawson. Getting a little strung out now, but this is a long, long race and a hugely long lap to remember. And I suspect by the close of play on Sunday, some of these crews will just about know their way round. Reeves is as close now as he's been. He's right in the wheel tracks, in the slipstream, in the dirty air, making a bid on the inside, but no! Roger Lovelock, wily yet again, closed the door, slammed it shut firmly in Tim Reeves' face. The dicing between these two is allowing Scott Lorry and James Neve to close the gap. They're tripping each other up just a little bit. And blocking tactics all the time. On the inside now, Tim Reeves. Has he got the power from the Paget's Honda? Clive Paget very much in evidence here in the paddock, supporting these crews. He's alongside. It's a drag, it's a sprint, it's Suzuki power against Honda power. We're on board with the number 49 green bike. Are we going to see Tim Reeves do a block pass? Can we fight back for the sake of Roger Lovelock? I wonder. No, we can't. Reeves has done it in the sunshine here. At the end of the day, most of the BSB crowd are staying around, which is great for these Sidecar boys. They need the encouragement. They like to be on the big stage. 3.7 miles in the late sunshine here at Silverstone to do on the last lap, and Tim Reeves left it late in the day, but now he heads Roger Lovelock. Still, it's Scott Lorry and James Neve. Ben Holland, Lee Watson, their podium has been stolen from them. They're relegated to fourth. Bygrave and Lawson plugging away behind. Roger Lovelock now coming under. We're going to see Scott Lorry here go for second. We're on board with Scott Lorry. His engine is quick. He's alongside and he's up to second. Roger Lovelock fighting back though, throwing it on the inside. Scott Lorry just outbraked himself a bit, ran a little bit deep. And again, that's allowing Ben Holland to stay very much in touch. Ben Bygrave still in touch. Still in second though, number 49, Roger Lovelock. Away at the races now, out in front, Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. Crossing the Formula One car start-finish line, which is half a lap the other side of the circuit. So still 1.5 almost miles to do for Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. We have 2 start lines here at Silverstone, one for the cars, and we are starting our races from the old original start-finish between Woodcote and Copse. A massive lead now for Tim Reeves, but still that battle for second, anybody's. Roger Lovelock though, and up to third has gone Holland. No sign of Scott Lorry. Scott Lorry appears to have gone missing. Ben Holland and Lee Watson now up to third. Scott Lorry slipping down the order. He's still there, he's in touch, but he's slipping down the order. Race leader. There goes the hand in the air. That's what I was looking for half a lap earlier. Greg Clues then rounding for the checkered flag. Out of Woodcote they come in the sunshine. Late in the day though, but a terrific win. That just about seals the championship, I think, for Tim Reeves, number 77. Roger Lovelock and Ben Holland, Lee Watson, they made the podium. Let's have a look. Confirmation of the result. They're delighted with that because, as I say, it should be the championship. Confirmation. Holland and Watson complete the podium. Bygrave and Lawson right there. Let's have a look down the order. No sign of Scott Lorry. No sign of Scott Lorry, at least not in the top 10. There he is, right down there. DNF, last of the DNFs, and that was a fuel problem, would you believe? As simple as that, he ran out of fuel. Well, it's official. Tim Reeves, Greg Clues, 2011 Eastern Airways F1 Sidecar champions. It's been an interesting season. How do you feel, mate?
Yeah, over the moon, really, mate. You know that back in February I'd officially retired, and everyone rallied round and got us a bit together, and we made the first round just in time, and we haven't looked back since. We've had a great year, flipping hell. We've not finished lower than second, so can't ask for more than that, can you? The bike's been 100% reliable. We lacked a bit of speed, but Honda and Clive Paget and all these boys have really muscled in and got the thing going for us, and it's not far away now, and yeah, I'm over the moon. Fantastic year. Greg's done a good job, and yeah, can't wait for next year.
Greg, Tim said about lacking speed, and Roger Lovelock's bike was really fast.
Yeah, they do very well. Our bike is not really bad, but we have bad start. We try come back, but with the brakes, not easy. But it's fantastic season, and I want to say thank you all my sponsor, LNW, my dad. He helped me, so thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Tim, over the season, you've paid credit to all the other guys out there riding. I think today illustrated how everybody's come on. They were flying.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's nice. It's all right. I like to win, flipping hell, but I don't want it to be easy, and that weren't easy, and that's what it needs to be. You need to have to work for your living, didn't you? But yeah, I just need to thank everyone, the Hayth family and LNW, and Greg's dad has helped us out quite a bit, and Express Tires and Lockerbie have helped us, and John Lawson and Sean Egerty and Silkeline, and what can you say? Everyone. And thanks to Roger for putting on a fantastic series, and hopefully he'll be able to get us a good deal, and we'll be in this paddock for next year for the whole year, so look forward to that.
Well, you've repaid everyone and more, so congratulations and well done to both of you.
Cheers, thanks very much. Enjoy.
Down here in pit lane, the man who's really been behind the engine work in Tim Reeves' Honda, Clive Paget. You put so much into the sport, Clive, and here you are now with the Sidecar champion. How does that feel?
Barry, it's terrific. I mean, Timmy and I are friends from a long time ago. We both worked with Darren many years ago, Darren Dixon, and it's great to see Timmy successful again. We love him to bits, and you know, what can you say? Rode a great race, and good to see the Honda up there.
Are you pleased to see F1 Sidecars back in with the profile they've got and in the right place?
I think it's got to tell you something when we're stood under the podium, absolutely. You know, we've always been sidecar fans, terrific. We love the sport, love the class.
That was an absolutely phenomenal race. With it, Tim Reeves romped home to the championship. There's more to come here from Silverstone. Join us again after the break for race 2. Welcome back to the grid for race 2. I'm on the third row here, and a best ever race 1 result for Steve Kershaw and Rob Wilson. What a terrific ride for them. The flowing circuit here at Silverstone suited his riding style to a T. Another good ride, 5th place in race 1 from Banbridge County Down, John Clark and Stuart Graham. They really put in a fantastic result again, so they find themselves on the third row. So the boys from Ulster doing a terrific job. On row 2, the boy band is back in business. Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson, 4th in the race. They came from a slower start actually in race 1, but up here they are on row 2. Terrific ride for them. 3rd place for Ben Holland and Lee Watson. Actually from the front row they've lost a place. They find themselves on row 2, but Ben Holland has got terrific speed, quickest through the speed trap here, so he'll be going well. The race leader of race 1, for the majority of it, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence set an absolutely blistering pace. They find themselves on the front row because in the closing 2 laps, new champion Tim Reeves and Greg Clues slipped through to take the lead, and they were never headed again. So our pole position man, 2011 champion Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. Ben Holland then, starting on the second row, the best thing he can do is maybe follow through. Well, let's see if Tim Reeves can get the thing off the line this time, because he certainly needs to. We've seen how quick Roger Lovelock's number 49 bike is lining up alongside him. There's some guys there really showing their hand this week. A lot of unusually quick people we're not accustomed to seeing flying. Look at Steve Kershaw, number 29, he got a flyer too. Mark Edwards going underneath our camera at that point off the line. Brian Gray in there with Colin Two holding down the third wheel, but it's Lovelock who's got the drop. Tim Reeves, then it's Ben Bygrave, then Ben Holland, then in 5th place Steve Kershaw on the blue outfit, then it's John Clark. Roger Lovelock, a terrific start again, but it wasn't a bad one from Reevesy. The new champion then in 2nd place, the number 77. Then we're looking for Ben Bygrave, number 74, in the middle of your picture. Then Ben Holland. John Clark, number 90, coming. Scott Lorry, 72. Desperate to make amends. Charging through on the inside. Can Steve Kershaw come back at him? Well, discretion, the better part of valour there, I think, from Steve Kershaw. A rider of the future, mark my words. Very smooth, very reliable, and a really, really nice guy. So he's there. Now being relegated by Scott Lorry. Scott Lorry now chasing down the number 98, going on. Mark Edwards and Shelley Smith is fighting back. Oh, Liam Abbott knows he's in a race. The number 91 got knocked sideways. Craig Chaplin, Pat Farrance with him as well. Well, Mark Edwards came wide, came off the grass, just drove it hard. The back end went a bit loose. Oh, up goes the sidecar wheel. Come on, Greg, keep it down. That's what you're paid for. Greg Clues then, the passenger, the Frenchman, from down the Bordeaux region on the west coast of France. Now, you heard in the interview his father has invested some money in that outfit to keep Tim Reeves and Greg on track. There's that wheel in the air. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence needed no second bidding. They were through. So fighting back, Reevesy couldn't quite make the turn, and still our race leader, the number 49, we're on board with it. Just watch the speed as the tarmac flashes by. These two now getting away. Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson still there in 3rd, although the gap now something like 2.8 seconds. They're dropping off the back, and they've got Ben Holland and John Clark climbing all over them. Can Roger Lovelock bring this one home? Beaten in just the last 2 laps of race 1 by Tim Reeves, who now you could argue is riding for fun, but as Reevesy said, quote, I like to win, flippin' hell, I like to win, he said, and he's in 2nd place at the moment. The identically liveried outfit behind him of Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson. Then Scott Lorry again having a good dig at the number 90 of John Clark, out of shot now. This is the battle for the lead. These two now stretching the advantage. The two young crews, Ben Holland, Lee Watson, Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson, have been so close in the championship all through the season, and now they find themselves locked in a battle on track, just as these two are locked in a battle. On board again with the leading outfit. Are we going to see the Paget's Honda nose past at any point? I don't think it's got the speed in a straight line that Roger Lovelock's Suzuki seems to have. I can see Phil Bell in the background there, with Phil Hydes making a bit of an impression on the 2nd chasing group. Tim Reeves trying everything he knows. He's up the inside. Oh, nowhere for Rick Lawrence to go. They're in the lead. Nowhere for Roger Lovelock's passenger to go. Greg Clues's backside just being hoisted off the tarmac with the centrifugal force, the G-force. As they throw it in, the whole thing is trying to turn turtle. And we have seen the number 3 Santander outfit turn turtle on more than one occasion. The news, incidentally, of the number 3 driver, Barry James, is that he has sustained a broken collarbone. So, whilst an annoying injury, it's at the right end of the season and nothing more serious. Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence just chasing down. They haven't given up by any means. Greg Clues sniffing the tarmac almost. He gets so far over, virtually rubbing his crash helmet on the surface of the road. The gap now some 5 or 6 lengths. Reeves leads. Lovelock 2nd. Bygrave 3rd. Then I saw a flash of Scott Lorry's number 72 outfit, looking as though it's made its way up to 4th. Yes, it has indeed. Oh, Ben Holland then has been... Oh, no, not again. Hand in the air from James Neave. Scott Lorry, another retirement. This is a double no score for him at Silverstone, turning what started off as a bad weekend into an absolute catastrophe. Disqualified in qualifying, 2 lion-like performances, 1 from the back of the grid, but to no avail. John Clark then, chasing Ben Holland. Well, what more can Scott Lorry do? What more does he have to do? A mechanical retirement. The only good news is that both rider and passenger are obviously fit and well. Ben Bygrave is past Reeves. Reeves is slowing. Tim Reeves is slowing. He's got a problem. The number 77 chasing the new champion, chasing the leaders in this race. Greg Clues absolutely frantic. I don't know what it is. It's a mechanical problem. Hand in the air. They are out of the running. Nothing. The body language just telling the story. Reeves and Clues then. The championship sewn up, but the crown just a little bit tarnished here at Silverstone because they won't add to their handsome points tally. Meanwhile, while the cat's away, Roger Lovelock is going to play, and is he playing at the front? This is then an unthreatened first top step of the podium for Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence, former British champions, it has to be said. And the year he won that championship, he competed with a broken collarbone. On the same weekend he broke it, so 2 hours later he was back in the outfit. That was at Knock Hill, but that was a while ago. We are talking here and now, 2011. Rod Robinson and Roy Farmer retiring the crossplane Yamaha, the number 10 outfit, such a shame. Liam Abbott, number 91, Chris Judge into the pits, so retirement's now coming thick and fast. Could be tyres. A lot of tyre-related problems here this weekend due to the very high corner speed and, in fact, the high start line finish speed, 150 miles an hour. Ben Holland, Lee Watson, now with Ben Bygrave and Callum Lawson, so the 2 young crews that promise so much for the future. Let's face it, this is the future of sidecar F1 racing. We're with it now. These 2 boys, these 4 boys, shall I say, they'll hate me for calling them boys, but compared to me, believe me, they are young men. Let's call them young men at the top of their game and delivering it on the big stage here at Silverstone. Meanwhile, John Clark, Stuart Graham, right there, they have far from given up. This is the battle for second. In third place, number 74, Ben Bygrave. There's the race leader. Look at the advantage Roger Lovelock has now. The foot of Lee Watson dragging the tarmac there. Special boots being made by 151s. Rob Cameron making special boots with inserts that don't rub away, and I have to say they need them. It really is a unique discipline, the sidecar passenger's role, putting literally your life in the hands of someone else and throwing yourself around completely unattached. Oh, you saw there the sidecar wheel. I was talking about passenger compromise. Callum Lawson had a left-hander to deal with, and he knew there was a right-hander immediately afterwards. Might have shifted his weight just a touch too soon, but they made it. John Clark and Stuart Graham on the inside. This Northern Irish pair, the Ulster crew here, have just got better and better and better as the season goes on, and they have that long boat trip. Oh, they're through on the inside, never mind boat trips. They have that long boat trip every weekend, every race weekend anyway, but we're going to Ireland for the final round so they can have a relatively short drive to race. Up into third place then, Clark and Graham. Head down, Stuart Graham tucking down in. He was one of the passengers who said to me, this is unbelievably hard. Ian Guy and Carol McBride retiring their outfits, so another one parked on the grass. Still this battle raging for the final place on the podium. John Clark now coming under a renewed attack from Ben Bygrave. Bygrave senses that maybe the Ulsterman burned it all on that passing move. He had 3 frantic laps to scythe his way up to third place. Maybe, Ben Bygrave thinks, maybe he shot his bolt. We shall see. Oh, using all the track and more. John Clark running wide onto the marbles, onto the dirty bit of the circuit, and that would have given Ben Bygrave a bit of an opportunity to close. Has he? Yes, he has. He's right on the back of him again. Second place then, Ben Holland, Lee Watson, we're with them. Can you see Roger Lovelock ahead? No, he is so far down the track, just a distant dot ahead of us. But behind this pair, the battle royal is raging between Bygrave and Clark. On the inside, Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson, up to third they go. Are they taking it? Not giving an inch. John Clark is staying put, but he's been pushed back to fourth. We have a new third place on the podium. Prospective candidate, shall I say? Well, he is a candidate. He is a candidate. Through they go again. Callum Lawson. That is a bend that catches all the passengers out. They have to change direction so quickly. And in the latter stages of this race, boy, will they be exhausted. John Clark's outfit is quick. Is there a way back for the Ulsterman? We shall see. Ben Bygrave has stretched the gap. The John Lawson sponsored machine. Oh, right, a cheeky move, a cheeky move. He's made it stick though. He went in really tight, did a block pass. So John Clark, Stuart Graham back up to third. This is raging now for the final podium place. Riding with the second place outfit. Ben Holland, Lee Watson, up through the gearbox. Listen to that engine. Absolutely flat out. Oh, Bygrave coming past again. No, showing his nose to John Clark. Terrific, fantastic racing. This is F1 Sidecar racing at its very, very best. On the big stage here, a lot of the crowd here. This is an early morning race. Race 2. We'll have this done and dusted before lunch. The last lap flag is out. 3.7 miles to do. It's a long way when you want that podium. This is where the fireworks are. Third place we're looking at now, John Clark, Stuart Graham. Fourth place, Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson. Are they going to usurp Ben Holland for second maybe? The race leader, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence, coasting home to what will be a memorable podium for those two guys. Two of the nicest men in the paddock. Worked really hard at it. Look at John Clark. Is it going to be a cheeky move for second here? The outfit's fast, he's having a go, he's on the inside, no. The camera angle foreshortening the closing distance there. It looked to me as though Clarkey was lining himself up, shall I say, for the second place on the podium. Meanwhile, he's in third. A cautionary glance. Callum Lawson, again that wheel in the air, just made it. Ben Bygrave driving around there with the wheel 6 inches in the air. And in fairness to Callum, he's only light. He's a fairly slight fellow. And if he moves his weight just a fraction early, then he's giving away several stone. A fraction, oh, they slid! They slid, oh, they're upside down! Oh no, the back wheel let go. Callum Lawson firmly anchored to the back, but the back wheel let go. It could have been his light weight, it could have been degradation of tyre. He's right on the back, he's doing his job perfectly. And he stays with it. He stays with it, but when that happens, there is nowhere for the passenger to go. Ben Bygrave underneath. What drama on the last lap. That's, I won't say it's handed the final podium place to John Clark because he was in it already, but it certainly consolidated it. Top step, meanwhile, going to Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence. They've hardly put a foot wrong in this one. It's a flawless performance. 25 points. And we are going to have a very interesting championship table at the end of this race in the final analysis. The checkered flag is out. Second place, Ben Holland, Lee Watson, John Clark, Stuart Graham. Ben Bygrave and Callum Lawson ended up upside down. I'll give you the news on them just as quickly as I can because it was a big crash. And as I said earlier, there is nowhere for the driver to go. He has to stay with it. Oh, there! The Rick Lawrence customary handstand. We've never seen the headstand before. Confirmation of that. Lovelock and Lawrence, you've seen the top three. We've been following them. Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson, a good fifth for Phil Bell. What about that? Steve Kershaw, Rob Wilson, 6th. 7th for Gary Smith and Justin Sharp. Lots of retirements again. The big one on the last lap, Bygrave and Lawson. Callum Lawson's cracked an ankle bone, he's plastered up. And what a weekend for Scott Lorry and James Neve. John Clark, Stuart Graham, this is just a fantastic result.
Yeah, fantastic. We couldn't believe it. I thought Tim had went off into the distance, and I could see Roger, I could see Ben. I was having a fantastic scrap with Ben Bygraves, and we came over the line. I thought, oh well, 4th, not too bad, and then we got directed into the Parc Fermé. I couldn't believe it. I says, well, this'll do. So one of them things. Thanks. Yeah.
Stuart, you've become superstars of the paddock. You've been walking down here and everybody's shaking your hands. Great feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just awesome, really. It's just been a tough weekend. Well, for me personally, I think a lot of people might have struggled, but it's been a fantastic end to what was a tough weekend, because it's a physical circuit, but it was just fantastic.
I would like to thank Bill Waugh Construction, who bought the tyres for this weekend. We can't thank him enough, because it's so expensive, and without people like him, Coulter Hines, Around the Pound, McKinstry Skip Hire, all our sponsors, we couldn't do it without them, and thank you to everybody.
Ben Holland, now we're in the tranquility of the paddock and all the rush and tear has gone. We've calmed down. You must be reflecting on a fantastic runner-up spot.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm a little bit sort of speechless about it. I was hoping to come here and have a good weekend and get on the podium twice. It's yeah, all of us are pretty chuffed. It's nice to be able to repay the team with all the hard work they've put in. And yeah, I mean, as for the race, it certainly made it a little bit difficult for ourselves. We dropped a few places within the first couple of laps, and yeah, we just had to try and plug away and get back up to a decent spot. And yeah, we were a little bit fortunate with Tim pulling out, and Scott Lorry pulled out as well. So just had Darky to deal with, and also Ben Bygrave. But no, it was some good racing. It was thoroughly enjoyable.
Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence, an absolutely fantastic win. And you earned it from the very first lap.
Yeah, I suppose we did, really. I mean, we were off the line like a scolded cat, and I thought, yeah, here we go again, deja vu, same as yesterday. And we knew that Tim was going to be a threat, and Ben Bygrave, so we were all ready for, you know, a good old tussle. And yeah, Tim came through. We got past him again. He came past us. Greg's arm went in the air, and we thought, oh, he's got a problem here. But yeah, we kept going, plodding on as usual, like we always do. Kept the lead and took it to the checkered flag. Wonderful.
Well, you had a 6-second gap. If you'd known what was going on behind you, you wouldn't have been able to concentrate. All hell was breaking out behind.
No, I looked behind him with a few laps to go and saw we had a bit of a lead, and was sort of letting Roger know we had a bit of a lead, because we have no lap board, no nothing, so it's down to him and me to find out where we are. Let him know that we had a bit of a lead, just to back it off, and kept coming around thinking, God, it's got to be the last lap flag, but it wasn't out again and again and again. But yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was enjoyable. Should I say, quick thank you to somebody who dropped us some money yesterday. Don't know who they are, just mysteriously dropped us some money yesterday, which was fantastic. Put to good use for tyre today, so that paid dividends.
You too have been the entertainment package this year. You've been really, really consistent and really good. So congratulations to both of you.
Yeah, cheers, Barry. Once again, brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cheers.
I've been looking forward to this, and there they are, second place on 2-1-2. The championship already tied up, double points ahead of us at Mondello. Scott Lorry very much in touch. He's going to come back with a bang in Mondello, I can tell you. The Birchells will be there as well, so they'll want to be improving on their 191. Steve Kershaw did himself a power of good. He's 12th, 77 points. What a terrific season it's been so far, and we've still got that one more round ahead of us. 3 races on the programme from Mondello. Look forward to it. Maybe the Sloanes will get their bike out of the garage. Let's hope so. Well, that's it from Silverstone. What a fantastic second race. In fact, 2 great races. The final round of our championship comes from Mondello in just 1 week's time. Double points up for grabs, 3 races on the programme. Don't miss that, whatever else you do. But from Silverstone, thanks for watching and bye-bye.